Welcome to Straight Line MTB, and once again it is new bike day, and we got the 2021 Canyon Spectral CF8, and we're going to tell you all about it. All right, so we're back. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to help support our channel so we can keep going and bringing you great videos. Today we are talking about the brand new Canyon Spectral. This is the CF8. I'm going to do a quick unboxing just to show you real fast what's inside and how well Canyon boxes their bikes and sends them to you pretty close, ready to ride and ready to get you on the trail. So let's check it out. All right, so we got the get started box. When you greet you as you open your brand new Canyon. Our Spectral 29 came with this awesome setup. I remember this from the previous Spectral we bought. Little bag, I never used it. I don't know what it's for, maybe just for your dirties or something, but the little Canyon logo looks cool. Quick start guide, just give you some info on getting your new bike put together. Honestly, I don't usually read those. Then you got the super sick pedals. I will say, looking at these pedals compared to our YT and even the Megas came with a little bit nicer pedals. I wouldn't run these at all. The other ones that came with the Mega series and the YT, they look similar to the Race Face Ride composites. General manuals, stuff like that, I probably won't need. I do like the Canyon gives you a set of tools to get your bike going. So you get a little primitive torque wrench, you get some carbon paste here, and then another torque wrench. I think this one's for 5 Newton meters, and this one goes up to about 10, I believe. 12 Newton meters, so you can make sure you're torquing your stuff right. It looks like you got a little lingerie bag here. Mesh, it's got some extra parts, all your manuals for your forks, some cool little stickers, stuff like that. It's a cute little bag. Thank you, Canyon, for adding that. Oh, and then you get your shock pump. Looks just like the YT one. It's not the highest end looking shock pump, but it'll get the job done. Actually, it looks a little bit nicer than our YT, so high five to Canyon for getting you set up with all the tools that you may need to get you going. You still will probably need some Allen wrenches and things like that. So now we got this bike out of the box, and just look at this bike. I was very impressed. I've had a Canyon before. I had a 2018 Spectral, the 27.5, and I really love that bike, and it was high quality, but it was an aluminum frame. But this carbon fiber Spectral, it looks beautiful. I would say the lines are really nice. It's got a two-tone paint job, so it's glossy and matte finish. I put my Laminex frame protection tape on here, and it looks flawless. The paint on it is just almost near to perfect as you can find. Putting that frame tape on this bike, it showed me how flawless the finish is. It just looks really, really high quality. The black, it looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. I love it. The two-tone job, they did a really great job with the paint. It looks high quality. The frame, super light. This bike feels light. So this is the CF8 version, so it's XT. I weighed this bike out of the box with tubes, no pedals, as you find it. It was 31.8 pounds, which was very surprising for a 150, 160 millimeter bike with that Fox 36 up front. Just comparing it to our Sentinel V2, which I thought was a very light bike, same travel numbers. That bike was 33.5 pounds, but it was an NX build. Moving to back to this bike, after I put the pedals on, I have my Laminex frame protection tape, my Tannis tubeless armor in the back, and our DMR Vault pedals. This bike came in at 32.2 pounds. So still very, I think that's a pretty light for this bike. You know, you probably go a little bit lighter, but with the bigger wheels, this did save some weight with the wheels, with the tires on this bike, because they are EXO casing, so you don't get any EXO Plus, so there's some weight savings there. Looking at the build, it is XT drivetrain. So you got the shifter, the brakes, the 4-piston brakes, also just the rear derailleur, the cassette. For suspension, again, it has the Fox Performance Elite fork. I have this fork on the Mega and was very surprised how awesome this fork is. It is a little bit on the noisy side, but the performance is great. This will be my first ride on a Performance Elite rear shock. So this has the 3 settings, the firm, the trail mode, and then the open mode, and it has the rebound adjust, where the fork has the grip too, so it has the high and low speed compression, and it has a high and low speed rebound. So you got all the knobs you want to mess with. The seat post on this bike is the Canyon specific. I've never had this one on our previous Canyon. It was the X Fusion. So I think for most part, all seat posts that I've ridden were really good. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll report back. It does have the Shimano dropper post lever, which I have on both the nuke proofs that we have currently in for review, and that is a great dropper lever. It feels really nice, really smooth. And then the wheels, it has the XM 1700, so that's a nice upgrade from the lower version, which has I think it has the M 1900s maybe. These are going to be a little bit lighter, and they're the welded rim instead of the sleeve and pin, so you're going to save some weight. And the rear engagement on these 350 hubs, they have the 36 tooth star ratchet, so you're not getting the 18 like they used to back in the day, so you're getting a little bit better. I know you can upgrade it to the 54 tooth, which I might do because I have some laying in the garage. And then again, back to the tires. So the front, you have a DHF EXO. It's the 3C compound, so it is on the lighter side. So I don't know. Most of the bikes that I've been getting lately, and most of the bikes you're going to see in this travel category, and even some a little bit lower, have the EXO Plus casing, where a little bit heavier, but you're getting more confidence and a little bit thicker sidewalls. And again, in the rear, the DHR2 EXO 3C. Again, I would have liked to have seen them put a EXO Plus at least on the rear, but we'll see how it goes. I have a tough time with rear tires and EXOs. Usually, they have a tough time with me. And again, the cassette XT, rear derailleur XT, and then it has the 4-piston XT brakes. I'm riding the SLX 4 pistons on the Mega. I did have an issue with those, with the pads being rattly and really loud. So if you guys watched that video, and some people commented how loud that bike was, it was the brake pad. So I hope this isn't the same problem. For the cockpit, it has all Canyon G series handlebar stem, the G5 grips. I will say the headset and the spacer and all that, it's proprietary. It's very strange. The spacers are odd shape. I'll dive deeper into it on our long-term review and report back what I find on this. But I have seen some reports that, yeah, it's not a normal traditional headset that can just take regular spacers and stem. So that was kind of a bummer. The grips, G5, they're pretty thin. Might swap those out. And then looking at the cable routing, they did a good job. So the Canyon Spectral I had in the previous years, the 27.5, it had the race on the outside and it was externally routed. Some people, I don't know, it was good and it was bad. I appreciated it because you didn't have to have the internal routing, but looking what Canyon did with the internal routing, it looks really nice, really clean. So again, back to brakes, you have the 200 millimeter front and 180 rear. Being a bigger guy, I'm noticing 180 rear doesn't cut it as well for me, but I'm gonna ride this bike and see how it does and possibly switch it out. But it does come with the Ice Tech rear rotors, so that nice help keep them cool, a little bit higher end than the SLX ones that we were riding on our other bikes. And then one thing out of the box I'm gonna gripe about is that my rear wheel on this bike is a little bit wobbly. So I spun it after we set it up tubeless. It's got a little bit of wobble. I don't know if it's the tire, but I did check the rim and it was off just a little bit. And then also the gearing, I have to do some adjustments. I haven't had that problem with the YT that we brought in and the nuke proofs, the two nuke proofs, they were set up pretty well as far as adjustments. Just a small gripe, but just thinking, I know Canyon, they want you to just pull the bike out and go ride it. That was a little bit of a bummer. And something that's anecdotal, but the stem was off from the fork, so I had to readjust that. And while I did that, what I did is I dropped the stem down a little bit. I swapped up some of the spacers from under the stem and put them on the top, because just like our previous Spectral, and I've read about this Spectral, is that the head tube is really high, so it gives you a little bit more difficulty getting over the front and the corner. So I went ahead and did that while I had it apart. So this CF8, this is the middle range. So they have the one up for the $399. This one is $499, and then they have the $599 version. So for $499 on this bike, what are you getting? Is it a good value? Canyon, if you've noticed, and a lot of other direct-to-consumer brands, their prices have gone up and the values have gone down just a little bit compared to some of the bigger box brands like Specialized and Scott and those other brands. So the value isn't as great as I had expected, like the Canyon that we bought previously. And I will say the same for Nuke Proof. I talked about that in our Nuke Proof Mega video, is that their prices are coming up. I will say that it looks like that the quality is a lot higher. It looks like they put a lot more thought into a few things. Pulling it out of the box, I'd say it compares really well with YT. They give you the same experience where you're opening it up. You feel like you're getting a really nice piece of equipment for your money. So I'm going to take this bike out and ride it and do a first ride review. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything you're interested in hearing about or any questions that you might have about this bike. I know it has a flip chip in it. I'm interested to see how that works out. I know with our YT, it had a flip chip and I never really mess with it. I do like to ride it in the low position, but I might try this in the high position just to see how it does on the climbs. So again, thank you guys for joining us. Give us a like and subscribe, and don't forget to follow us on straightlinemtb.com and on Instagram and TikTok at straightline_MTB. And thank you again, and we'll see you on the next video.